Yes, sir. All right. What's good, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any more value. All right. So, welcome, peace and blessings to everybody that's watching. And I just wanted to jump on real quick, and we're going to go through how to deposit, right? How to make your first deposit, how to create your broker account, and taking your first trade. All right. I want to walk you guys through this process because there are a lot of people that reach out to me and ask me, Noah, how do you start trading? How can I start trading Forex? So I'm about to walk you through, right? And if you can follow these steps, then you can get it set up and you can start trading today and start making money today. All right. So first thing that you want to do is click that link in the description below or above. It's going to take you to this page here where you're going to register for Novus Markets. All right. This is a brokerage company, right? And this is where we're going to be placing our money so that we can place our trades on their platform. Okay, so create your account, put your first name, last name, email, phone, and password. Click register. Then you're going to be able to log in. 1 second. 621 623. All right, and it's going to bring you to pages like this. Now, when you first register, it's not going to unlock all the way because you have to turn in your KYC documents first. The KYC documents are for tax purposes, and you got to prove that you are who you are, right? And so that you know it's a real person. Turn in your documents. It should be your ID and proof of address. All right, so you just use a utility bill and state ID or driver's license or passport. Then once you do that, it'll say verified, right? So once it says verified up there, these tabs on the left hand side will unlock. And first thing that you want to do is deposit money to your account. All right, so you want to come here to deposit. You can use BTC, or the easiest way is probably going to be just clicking Tiger Pay, right? And you can pay with card. So if you're paying with card, the minimum deposit is going to be $25. Maximum deposit is going to be $25,000. BTC minimum is $30. Maximum with BTC is 1 million, I believe. I believe that says 1 million. Right? I think that's 1 million. So yeah, once you choose which way you want to deposit, click confirm, right? So if you use crypto, it's going to give you a crypto address to deposit to. Now, keep this in mind, right? For people that are using crypto, you got to be very, very careful because if you put one letter or one number at a place, it's going to send somewhere totally different, right? So just be careful. So after about 30 minutes to an hour, you should see your balance update right here, right? So just keep hitting refresh and you're going to go to accounts. And this is where you're going to create your account first. All right. So first thing you're going to do is create a demo account. The reason why you want to create a demo account is because you need to practice. The only way that you're going to be able to get good at this skill is by doing it over and over again. All right. So you don't want to have to go through what I went through. What I did, I practiced on real accounts, right? With my real money. So that's really not the path that you want to go down. It made me a stronger trader, right? Going through all those losses and blowing real accounts after real account. But was it the smart thing to do, right? Did I really have to do all that and go through all that and make this process as long as it's been? Like, no, right? I could have just practiced on demo, ignored what everybody was saying, right? Because when you practice on demo, people are going to be saying stuff. They're going to be like, oh, you're on a demo account. You're not making real money, this and that, right? But if you can just ignore that and practice, get your skill down to perfection, and then move over to a real account. That's that's the way to do it, not the way that I did it. Right now, you're going to have to learn whichever way. Right, you either have to learn the hard way, or you're going to take my advice, create a demo account, and practice, and learn the easy way. Right, but that's up to you. Some of y'all, I know you're already experienced. You've already placed trades before, so you can start off on a real account, right? And that's cool. Some of you are going to be hard headed, and you have to learn the hard way, right? Just it is what it is. So first thing you do, create that demo account. Click demo. Click create account. Click create account, and then you'll see it pop up in your accounts, right? It'll say demo account, your demo account number. Now we want to deposit to that demo account. Right now, right here, I suggest that you put a number that you're going to start off on your real account. Right? This is very, very key because you want to make it as realistic as possible so that when you do switch over to a real account, it's easy, right? It's easy. So you're already used to it. So practice, practice, practice on the amount that you are going to start with. Okay. Now you can create a demo account too that has a crazy number in there, like $1 million, and take big lot size trades, right? You can do that too, right? Have fun with it. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're practicing on the amount that you are going to be trading with. So next thing you do is create your real account, right? So come up here, click real account, click this first one. 1 to 500 is cool. Click create account. And then you're going to see your accounts here. Okay. So both of your accounts will be here. Now, to start practicing and trading, right? You're just going to come here. Oh, I'm sorry. First, you want to click this account and you want to change the password. Okay. So click change password, change it to something that you know, right? Something that you can remember. And then you want to click trade. So when you click trade, this platform is going to pop up. Okay. It's going to ask you to log in. So you're going to put your email in that you use to create your account and then the password that you just changed it to. Okay. So that's the first thing that you want to do. So now you should be inside. This is the trading platform, right? This is where we're going to be placing our trades. Okay. So I'm going to take you guys through on how to place your first trade. All right. And drawing up your analysis. So you're going to get a little training. Okay. So first thing that you want to do is after you choose your pair, right? So you want to choose the pair that you want to trade. So for me, I just chose gold. Right. At first, I was trading a bunch of different pairs. My focus was going a bunch of different places. It was crazy, right? I was just trying to catch a bunch of different plays everywhere. Now, am I saying that's the wrong way to do it? No, you can do that, right? And some people make it work. They got 8 different screens and they're watching 8 different pairs. And some people are just that talented, right? And can focus on that many different pairs. For me, I had to focus in and narrow in on one pair, get to know that pair, how it moves, and how to trade it. Okay. So either way you can go. I suggest that you start with one pair. Do I suggest that you start off on gold, right? If you're just now starting off, you've never placed a trade before, right? I probably wouldn't start off on gold, but you got to start somewhere, right? So you can choose whatever pair. Today we're going to be trading gold. Okay, so type in XAU USD up here in this search bar, and then this should pop up. All right, so first thing that you want to do is back out to the 4 hour or the daily. So you come here to aggregation period, right? This is the time frame that you're choosing. So you can choose daily or 4 hour, right? You just want to back out so that you can see an overall picture of what's going on. Okay. Let me check my trade. All right, so it looks like teetering in and out of profit. So yeah, first thing that you want to do, back out to the 4 hour, and this is how you zoom out. Okay, make it smaller, make it bigger, or shorter. Okay. So first thing that you want to ask yourself is, what is the trend of the market? Right? What's the trend of the market? Because the trend is our friend. Right? Write that down. The trend is your friend. Okay. So first thing that we want to do, come over here, grab our trend line tool. Okay, click this, and we draw this trend line. Okay, just connecting the lowest point to the next lowest point, right? So on, so on. So for it to be an official trend, I say it has to touch your trend line at least 3 to 4 times for it to be an official trend, right? So we can see here, price touches our trend, goes up to a certain point, touches our trend, comes back, right? Three touches, 4, 5. Okay. And so yeah, like I said, it needs to touch your trend line at least 3 to 4 times for it to be an official trend. So we can see here we are in an uptrend. A quick way to tell what trend it is ask yourself, is price starting in the bottom left or is it starting in the top left? Right? If price is starting in the bottom left, that is an uptrend. Okay. You can see here, bottom left working its way to the top right. We're in an uptrend, right? And this for gold. All right. So that's the first thing. So we got our trend line drawn. We see prices bouncing on our trend line, bounced off our trend line, bounced off our trend line. Now it's back towards our trend line, right? This is what we said what was going to happen last week, right? We were all the way up here. I said it's either going to do one or two things, right? It's either going to come back and test this area and come back and test our trend line, or it's going to break through our trend line, retest the trend, and come down. Right. So we see here we came back down to our trend line. So those of you that got in for sales, big profit right now, you can still hold this, right? I would say continue to hold until probably touch our trend line again. Right. So from here, same thing. Only one or two things can happen. Right. Only one or two things can happen from here. So let's get rid of this. Get rid of that. Right. It's either going to get to this trend line, get to our trend line, make a break, retest, and continue, or it's going to get to the trend line, right? Respect our trend line and come back and retest our high. Price can only do one or two things, right? This is why anybody can jump on and be 50%. Anybody can jump on a chart and place a trade and be 50% right. Right? You could come on, not know anything, place a buy right here, and price continue to go up and you're in profit. Or you could get in a buy and price continue to go down and now you're in drawdown, right? But really either way, this is what I've noticed out of trading, right? My years of trading. I've always noticed that price always seems to retrace where it was before, right? And what I mean by retrace is, for example, okay, so like let's say price is starting off here where my mouse is at, came all the way up, retraced all the way back down, retraced all the way back up, retraced all the way back down, right? Retraced all the way back up. So this is the pattern that you're going to see, right? Over and over again. It's all about positioning yourself in the right position so that you can profit. That's really all it comes down to, just your timing, right? And getting in the right place at the right time. For example, when price gets down here to this trend line, be in a good position. Was it give for a buy if it starts to respect this area? And then once it bounces off here, you're in profit, right? Then you just continue to move up your stop loss. Okay. So like I said, the trend is your friend, right? So a great way to catch a trend early, right? So if we would have saw this forming back in August, right? Coming off, bouncing off our trend line, bounced off our trend line again, right? So we would have drawn a trend line right here. This is where our trend line would have been drawn. So when we saw this bounce off our trend line, bounce off our trend line, we could have positioned for a buy and been in profit, right? Just because we got positioned in early at the right time. Now, yes, it did start to come back down to our trend line, but this is where we would have waited to see if is it going to respect our trend line or is it going to break, right? So faked us out, respected the trend line, continued up, came back down to the trend line, tested it, came up, consolidated, tested the trend line again, spiked up, spiked all the way back down to our trend, right? So now from here, like I said, you can be 50-50. It's either going to respect our trend line and continue up back towards our high, or it's going to break our trend, retest, and continue down, right? Now, from here, after you figure out the trend line, we need to identify our major reversal points, okay? So what we're going to do is just grab our brush tool, because there's no circle tool in here that I found yet. And we're just going to draw a circle around our major reversal points. Okay. And major reversal points are just like it sounds, points where it gets to a certain point and it reverses. Okay. So you don't have to draw them all, but just enough to give you a general idea of where we're seeing a lot of resistance. Okay. All right. Another one. Here's another one. Okay, 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 okay. All right. And like I said, you don't have to identify all of them, but just enough to give you an idea of where we're seeing a lot of resistance at. Okay. So after we identify a few major reversal points, now we're able to see, right? See, we got major reversal point here, here, here. On the bottom, we have major reversal point here, 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 right? So we can see you just by looking at this, you can identify where we're seeing areas of resistance, right? These areas of resistance are going to represent your support and resistance. So the top is going to be your resistance. So we come over here, we'll grab our rectangle tool, and we're just going to draw a little shaded area, right, in a general area where we're seeing resistance, right? So this top shaded area is going to represent your resistance, like the roof of your house, right? That's the way that you can look at it. Like the roof of your house is keeping you from going from that point, right? The bottom area is going to represent your support, right? And this is like your floor, right? It's like your floor. So your floor supports you, keeps you from going any lower than that point, right? So we can see here um, our areas of resistance, our areas of support, right? We got our trend line. This is for the 4 hour too. Keep in mind, all right, and keep in mind for the bigger time frames, these are going to be used for longer term trades, right? Trades that you may hold for weeks or months at a time. When we get to the lower time frames, that's when we get into scalping, right? Those trades we would hope for maybe an hour tops, right? We're just going to get in the market, get out, so we can get some quick profits, and that's the type of trader that I am. I'm not so much a long term holding trader, which I will turn into eventually, but right now, I'm just trying to get that quick back, right? Get in and out. But you may like a different style, right? You may like trading from the zone to zone from on the 4 hour time frame, right? They're going to last anywhere from a couple of days to weeks to months that you could be holding trades, right? So keep that in mind. All right, but it's the same concept on every time frame. This what I'm doing, right? This strategy. So you can see here, right? We got our support on the bottom. This is our support area. This is our resistance area. So we are in between this zone right now. So I don't really like to get into trades in between the zone because it can go either way, right? It could come all the way back up, test our resistance, or it can come back down and test the support. So I try to wait to get into trades till it gets down to the support or up to the resistance, right? And we just trade from zone to zone. So if we've seen this zone drawn before, right? Like let's say price was here. When we got right here, that would have let me know, okay, we are in our resistance area. I could start looking for sales, get in for a sale, ride it down to our support, right? When it gets to our support, we know, okay, price could turn around in this area of support. So we get in for a buy, right? So you would have rolled this buy back up to the resistance. When it got to this resistance last week, like I told you guys, right? When it gets to the top of the resistance, you could be looking for sales. Price coming back down to our trend line. Okay. So now what you want to do from here, right? If you're trading on the 4 hour, is just to wait to see what it's going to do. It could continue to come back down, touch our trend line fully, or come back down to our support. And from there, you could look to be getting in for buys, or wait to see if it's going to break this trend line, right? And this is called the break and retest strategy. So you wait for price to get to your trend line, wait for a break, right? For a breakout towards the bottom. It's going to retest the trend line and continue down. Or you can trade with the trend, right? And wait for it to get to the trend line, wait for it to get to your support, get in for the buy, and then ride that thing back up to the high, right? Back up to your resistance. So it's all about getting in to position, right? So to get a better entry, we have to go down to a lower time frame. Okay, so we can go down to like the minute, and we're just going to do the same exact steps, right? The same concept. We're going to ask ourselves, what is the trend of the market? Remember, like I said, how do you figure out the trend real quick? How do you figure out the trend quickly? Is price starting in the bottom left or the top left? Okay. Is it starting in the bottom left or the top left? Those of you that are watching right now, right? Put it in the comments. Is price starting in the bottom left or the top left? Yo, Chris, what's good, bro? He says highs and lows and trend lines. Yes, sir. How you doing, Miss Laquanda? She says, is this stocks? This is Forex, right? But it's the same concept for stocks too. Yeah, this, right? Once you learn the skill, you can use it on anything, right? Stocks, futures, whatever, crypto. All right, y'all. So does anybody know, right? Is anybody following along? Price is starting in the bottom left, right? So it's working its way to the top right. So this could be, okay, but all right, but it is coming off this downtrend, right? So you got to be careful. Sometimes you'll see an uptrend, but if you back out all the way, you'll see that it's really a downtrend, right? But it is trying to break. So I want to show you guys, this is a perfect example of the break and retest method, right? Perfect example. So we come over here, we're going to grab our trend line tool, like I said, right? Very first thing that we do, figure out the trend of the market. We're going to draw this trend line. Maybe, all right, so we can back out to the 15 just so you guys can see a full picture of what's going on. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. And I actually had to back out to the 15-minute just to get this overall picture, right? This trend line drawn. But this is a perfect example of the break and retest method, right? On the 15-minute. So you can see here, price is starting in the top left, working its way to the bottom right. So that is a downtrend, right? So price is starting here, bouncing off our trend line, bounced off our trend line, got back to our trend line on, this is the third touch. Okay. So this is the little strategy that I use, right? Once I see it breaking my trend line, I know that it's going to retest my trend and there could be a possible reversal. All right, so you see here has broken our trend, came back, retested. Now we could see this take off to the top, right? Could be a possibility, or it could be a fake out, right? Could come back down, test our trend line again before taking off. But we are at our trend line. I believe this is the 4-hour trend line right here. Right, so you keep that in mind. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, so this is the 4-hour trend line. Okay, so you see here, this is what you'll usually see, right? You'll usually see it break your trend, right? Come back to your trend. It broke our trend. You'll see it retest and break out back towards our resistance. Okay, so here is our support. Here's our resistance. We're in between this zone right now. All right. And how do we find these our zones, right? We got to identify our major reversal points. So, like I said, we go down to our trend line tool. Let me get rid of these drawings. Oh, okay. Get our trend line back. Go. All right. So let me give you guys an example, right, of the break and retest. So you can see here, right? This is just an example, right, of what you'll usually see. So price will start on your trend line, bounce off your trend line 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Then eventually it will get to your trend line, right? It'll get back down to your trend line, make a break, right? You guys see that with that arrow? Retest, and then continue down. All right. This strategy here can make you a lot of money, right? And it usually works probably 7 out of 10 times. You just got to be patient, right? Wait for price to come back to your trend line. It'll break it, right? You'll see a clean break. It'll be a breakthrough, come back, retest, and then that's when you can get in, right? So if we saw this forming, would have waited for the sales cut to come, wait for these buys to come back and retest my trend line, and I would have got in for the buys up here. I mean for the sales, and then rode that thing back down. Now, same thing is happening, right? Clear this. Same thing is happening right now. Okay, we have a downtrend forming. Okay. We got our price starting on our trend line, right? And this is on the 15-minute. Keep that in mind. Starting on our trend line, bouncing off our trend line, consolidating, coming down, bouncing off our trend line. Now it's back at our trend line, right? We see it's trying to break. So what you want to do is just stay patient, wait for this to break. Okay. Wait to see a clean break because it could fake you out, right? You don't want to get caught in the fake out. because it could fake us out right here and then continue down. All right, but wait for the clean break. If it breaks up, wait for this retest, and then that's when you'll get in for your buy, right? When it retests this trend line, and then you ride that thing all the way back to the high. That's one scenario, right? That's one scenario that can happen. Another one is it fakes us out, respects this trend line, continues down, come back to retest the trend. All right. So this is the move that I'll be looking to catch this week. Okay. If it does break this and we see a breakout towards the top, wait for the retest, get in for the buys here, and we're gonna hold that thing till it reaches a new all-time high. If it respects this area, right, starts to break out towards the bottom, we'll wait for it to come back, test this trend line, and get in for the sales of it coming back down. Right now, what do I think is going to happen? I do think it is going to continue to raise, right, because just from the news events that I see going on, from things going on in the world, right, I do think the price of gold is going to skyrocket, right? That's just my opinion. But before that happens, we could see it come back and retest these areas, right, of down here. My rectangle tool. Right, it could come back and retest these areas. What the heck? Okay, but I do definitely see it coming back. All right, so yeah, it can only do two things in between this zone, right? This is on the 15-minute. Keep that in mind. All right, it's either going to come back down, test these low, so 2600, retest this, or it's going to break through, respect this area, retest the trend, and then continue back up to the high, right? And this is on the 15-minute. Can only do two things from here, right? This is why anybody can jump on a chart and be 50% right? There's a 50-50 chance of you being right. Even if you know exactly nothing, right? You don't know anything about Forex, you could come on here, place a buy, and that thing shoot up and you're in crazy profit. Right? You got a 50-50 chance of being right. That's why I love trading. But that's another reason why a lot of people come on here and treat it like gambling and they lose a lot of money, because it's just so easy, so fast to make money on here, right? So you could lose a lot of money really fast too. But there's ways to prevent that, right? So I talk about things in the mindset, and I always like to talk about this because this is really what it comes down to, is just like your mindset, right? It really comes down to the way that you think. Excuse me. All right, so I know this is really the boring part of it, right? This is the boring part of it, but this is what it comes down to. It comes down to how are you thinking in between those ears? What's going on between there? And you have to get this mindset right. Yeah, anybody can come on here, throw money, deposit money into the broker account, place a buy or sell trade, and start the profit. Right? I just showed you guys how to draw up your analysis, right? So when you are ready to place your trade, you'll come up here, You're either going to press the sell button if you think it's going to go down, right? Or you'll press this green button if you think price is going to go up, right? Right here is your lot size. So you want to keep this on 0.01 if you're trading, especially on gold. If you're trading on anything below $1,000, I would keep this on 0.01. Okay. I wouldn't start moving this thing up. Right now, this is how people blow their account. They come on here, they try to move this lot size all the way up because they want to hurry up and make a lot of money really fast, right? So they might move it up and then press buy or sell, and now you over leverage your account, right? The way that you know you're over leveraging your account is this number right here, right? This margin level percentage. You want to keep this number above 1,000, really above like 3,000, right? To be safe. The lower this gets, the more at risk you are at blowing your account. Right. So if you get in for a big lot size, one trade, and this goes all the way down to like 300, you know you're over leveraging, right? You're really in danger of blowing your account. Now, am I saying that you can't do that? Right. I've seen people do that and they win big on their first trades, right? Beginners making thousands of dollars in their first week, right? I've seen it happen, but is it common? No. And that's not the way that you want to go about this, right? That's how you're going to blow a lot of accounts. You're going to be having to cry yourself to sleep, explaining to your wife or husband why you lost all the money, right? And how you need to borrow more money. Like, you just don't want to go through that, right? So get on your demo account, practice until you get your strategy down, right? And then once you get your strategy down, then you can move over to a live account. Now, you could still blow accounts, right? Even on a live account after you practice on your demo. But the way that you keep yourself from blowing accounts, right? I want to show you guys. We're just going to get in for just a sample trade right now. Let's, all right, just a sample trade. We'll get in for a sell here, right? So this is how you keep from blowing your account. You're going to come over here, click this little number S2 in the front. You're going to see something called a stop loss. This right here is going to save you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of heartache. Okay. By placing this stop loss. All right. You click modify and boom. Now, this is going to protect your account because if price gets to this point, right, it's not going to go past this point. And that's going to save your account from blowing all of the money. Now, when I first started, I wasn't using those stop losses. I wasn't using take profits because I just knew what I was doing. And I didn't think I could ever blow my account, but I kept blowing my account. And that's the reason why. Not having proper risk management. This is how you properly manage that risk, is by setting your stop loss so that you know you can only lose a certain amount on every trade. Right? You know that you're not going to lose more than that. Now you set your take profit, right? And that's the point where price is going to get to, and it'll get out of the trade, right? Press the modify. Now you got your take profit set. So when price gets to here, it's going to get out of the trade because it could reverse, right? And that's one of the worst things that can happen is you don't use a take profit. Price goes into profit, gets to our support, turns around, and comes back and hits your stop loss when you were in profit the whole time, right? So you don't want that to happen either. So make sure that you get in the habit of using a stop loss, set a take profit, and then just let that thing ride and do what it's going to do. It's either going to come back and hit your stop loss or it's going to come and hit your take profit. But you don't want to get into the habit of getting in a trade, it being in profit, and it always coming back to hit your stop loss. Now, a way that you keep that from happening is when you start to see your trade go in profit, you want to move up your stop loss, right? And keep moving that stop loss up. Now, sometimes it is going to come back and hit your stop loss when it's in profit, right? But the more that you do that, the better that you'll get at when to start moving up your stop loss. I usually, once I'm in like 100 pips in profit, right? 50 to 100 pips, that's when I start to move up my stop loss. So I know even if it does come back and hit my stop, I know I'm at least getting 50 to 100 pips, right, on each play. So, yeah, y'all, that's just a little training. Hopefully, you guys got a lot of value from this today. And I'm about to head out here in about an hour to my workout. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions or if you want me to show you how to start trading, right, just let me know. Chris says it's in an uptrend. Yeah, good, Chris. That's right. Right. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. If you need help getting your account set up and starting to trade, I have a free group, right? All you have to do to join my free group is create a Novus Market account, deposit your money. Once you do that, text me the word ready, and I will add you to the group, right? So then you can trade live with us. All right, y'all. So yeah, hopefully you guys got value from this. Rewind this, practice strategy, practice, and yeah, y'all. Let's have a profitable week. All right. Know what got to here, Mr. Laptop Lifestyle. If you didn't know, now you know. I'm trying to do it grow. Like I always say, make the rest of it the best of it. I'll meet you at the top because that bottom is way too crowded. Let's